I once wandered through life like a man adrift at sea, pulled by invisible currents, unaware of the fire sleeping within me. Every pleasure I sought left me emptier, every fleeting victory fleeting, and yet I did not understand the source of my depletion. It was as if my own essence, my life force, had been leaking silently through the cracks of my desires. The body is a temple, and yet I had treated it as a playground. The awakening came one night under a sky ablaze with stars. I dreamt of a furnace, not a furnace of fire, but of golden light, molten and alive, flowing in currents like a river of consciousness. Within it, I saw a reflection of myself, raw and untamed, yet brimming with potential. A voice whispered, "Desire is not your enemy, it is your crucible." I awoke with a strange clarity, sensing that my journey had begun. At first, the path was treacherous. Restraint felt unnatural. The body rebelled against unfamiliar discipline. Every cell seemed to cry for release, every thought a siren of distraction. Yet beneath the struggle, a subtle energy began to rise from the base of my spine, faint at first, like a dormant star flickering to life. I realized that semen retention was not denial, it was transformation, a conscious act of alchemy that turns raw impulse into radiant power. The ancients spoke of life force as the fuel of the soul. They named it ojas, chi, kundalini, and prana, labels for the same golden current that flows within each human, waiting to be refined. Modern science calls it bioelectric vitality, measurable in neuronal coherence, hormonal harmony, and heightened physiological efficiency. What they do not always see is that when this energy is preserved, it amplifies not only vitality but focus, creativity, and spiritual resonance. In those early days, I discovered the first secret of the furnace. Desire itself is not to be extinguished but channeled. The body is a crucible, and lust is the raw, or each moment of restraint, each mindful breath, each conscious movement directs the energy upward, forging it into something higher, not just physical vigor, but clarity, courage, and presence. The more I resisted the old habits, the more alive I became. I remember the first time I felt the golden current surge through me fully. It began as a warmth at the base of my spine, coiling upward like a serpent of light. With each exhale, the fire rose, energizing my body and illuminating my mind. I felt awake, alert, and yet peaceful. A paradox I had never known. Desire had become a river, not a storm, and I was learning to navigate its flow. The modern world is a tempest of distraction, feeding endlessly on undirected desire. Social media, instant gratification, and constant novelty act as siphons on our life force. I realized that most men live in a state of energetic debt, giving away their potential for ephemeral pleasure. In this clarity, retention became more than personal discipline. It became a rebellion, a reclaiming of the divine spark that modern life quietly steals. With practice, I learned to convert the furnace's heat into creative force. Writing became effortless, ideas flowed like molten gold, and problem-solving felt intuitive. The energy I once lost in fleeting indulgence now powered innovation, resilience, and magnetism. I understood why sages called it alchemy. What was base became noble. What was instinct became insight. What was mere energy became consciousness. The journey was not without temptation. One evening, a woman entered my path whose presence stirred every dormant instinct. Yet instead of succumbing, I allowed the golden current to rise, not fall. I recognized the desire not as an enemy, but as fuel for refinement. Attraction became reverence. Impulse became intentionality. I was learning that the furnace does not destroy desire, it transmutes it. Physiologically, the transformation is remarkable. Retention increases testosterone, sharpens dopamine sensitivity, stabilizes hormonal rhythms, and enhances neurologic coordination. Spiritually, the benefits are even more profound. Awareness heightens, intuition awakens, and the capacity to act decisively strengthens. Science and mysticism converge here, pointing to a singular truth. The energy we preserve is the energy we become. Months passed, and the fire within me deepened. Each restraint strengthened the furnace. Each act of mindful discipline fueled the golden current. I became acutely aware of subtle energies, the way presence affects others, the resonance of a gaze, the vibration of thought. People responded to me before I spoke. My body radiated a quiet power that needed no display. The alchemy was complete. Desire had become divine energy. Meditation became the lens through which I viewed the world. I would sit for hours, feeling the current circulate, visualizing it ascending from the root to the crown. In these sessions, I experienced a profound sense of unity. The line between self and cosmos blurred. I saw that the furnace was not just within me, it was within all life, a golden thread connecting energy, consciousness, and creation. The furnace's lessons extended beyond the body. Desire, when refined, fuels ambition, creativity, and purpose. I began to approach challenges with a calm ferocity. Each goal, each project, each interaction was now imbued with the current transformed not just my body but my entire life, aligning my actions with the golden rhythm of energy I had awakened. It was during this period that I encountered others walking similar paths, men seeking mastery, seeking to reclaim their life force. Together, we shared practices, insights, and rituals, forming a brotherhood of refinement. We understood that semen retention was not mere abstinence. It was sovereignty over oneself, a conscious act of transmuting desire into influence, wisdom, and creativity. I learned that the furnace also tests endurance. The greatest fires refine gold through heat and pressure. Nights came when dreams overflowed with desire, and the body trembled for release. Yet each act of containment strengthened the soul. The fire that once threatened to consume me now illuminated me, proving that true mastery is forged not in comfort but in the crucible of discipline. One day, as I moved through the city, I noticed a subtle difference in my perception. The world seemed sharper, more vivid, more alive. Every sound had texture, every sight depth. I could sense the currents of energy in others, the subtle interplay of presence and attention. The golden furnace had not only refined my desire but had sharpened my perception of reality itself. Creation became effortless. Music, art, and ideas flowed naturally, guided by the energy I retained. My mind became fertile ground for inspiration, and my body a vessel for expression. What was once wasted in fleeting indulgence now fueled tangible achievement. The alchemy was complete. Desire had been refined into spiritual power. In meditation, I reflected upon the nature of energy itself. The same force that drives lust also drives creation, innovation, and connection. To channel it consciously is to align with the universe. The furnace is a mirror. It shows the raw material of our impulses, and through conscious refinement, transforms them into light. The golden current eventually permeated every aspect of my life. Relationships deepened in meaning, not through conquest but through presence. Every interaction became an exchange of energy, not attachment. I discovered that true attraction is born from coherence, discipline, and aligned purpose, qualities the furnace had forged within me. I realized finally that semen retention is not merely about energy preservation, it is about integration. The body, mind, and spirit converge through conscious discipline. Desire, properly channeled, becomes a force of creation. Every breath, every step, every thought circulates the golden current through the vessel of being, manifesting power, clarity, and sovereignty. Looking back, I see a man who wandered, lost in transient pleasures, but through the furnace, I have been refined. I am no longer subject to impulses. I am their master. The energy that once scattered is now concentrated, flowing freely, illuminating mind, body, and spirit. I have become a living reflection of the celestial fire, a man who has transformed desire into divine power. And so, I walk through the world as both witness and vessel, aware of the currents around me, mindful of the energy within. The furnace continues to burn, not as destruction, but as illumination. Desire is no longer a chain, but a key, a golden flame that shapes thought, inspires action, and connects me to the limitless. This is the art, the science, the sacred path of the celestial furnace. If this video charged your internal battery, please show some love. Give this a quick like and subscribe to make sure you never miss an energy upgrade. I love seeing our global community grow, so please drop your location in the comments. Sit fuels the channel. If you've got questions that need an answer or want to connect with like-minded people, find us on Telegram, link below. Let's spread this power. Take a moment to share this with your crew. Have a truly powerful day.